Yeah, I'm thinking it's another one of those late upload days. I apologize for it, but I'm just not. I'm really not feeling it today. Really not feeling it. Something fierce. It ain't necessarily that it's like too hot or too cold. Temperature's just about what it has been for a while. I'm just really out of it. I was up till about 3 o'clock in the morning conversing with the buddies in the VC. Crazy, crazy conversations. And I think somewhere along the line I came to the realization that there's a lot of stuff happening coincidentally as of late. And I mean that in the sense that I just keep seeing things pop up, and it's like stuff that normally wouldn't pop up in conversation, but it's stuff that's been given new relevance, given new, little tidbits of information or projects that I'm working on or something like that, and it's really just kind of skeeving me out something fierce, Like, I've never been one of these people to say, like, there's no such thing as a coincidence, because whether or not if there is or isn't a thing about a coincidence, that's not really up to me to say. But yeah, I just find it weird that all this stuff keeps popping up now, given, like, newfound relevance. I'll say it like this, I'm working on a couple of projects. I have a couple of projects in the work. I'm very excited for these. And to make it like, how do I put this without spoiling it? To say it in very brief, very spoiler texted, words here. One of these projects requires a lot of research. But the thing is, I keep coming across things that I could put into the video. It's a video. I keep coming across things that I could put into the video just in regular conversation or just out and about on the internet, out in the wild, on Twitter, on social media, just by happenstance. And it gets more and more concerning as I go down this rabbit hole, because there is a rabbit hole. And, it's like one of those things of, well, ignorance is bliss. As you increase knowledge, you increase suffering. I'm really just looking to get that project done as soon as possible, if I'm being honest, so I can move on with my fucking life. That sounds bleak. That sounds ominous. I'm going to be honest with you. I just want to get that one over with, though, so I can focus on the other shit that I got to work on. I would say maybe that's another thing that's been just kind of draining my, my motivation. I know I made a video about that, saying that if you need motivation to do stuff, you're a nerd and that you need to be bullied. But, I guess I'm a nerd who needs to be bullied, because I just am not feeling motivated in the slightest because of this thing specifically. I feel as if I might be getting a tad bit off topic. Let's get back to the topic at hand, coincidences. There is a phenomena, and I don't really know what the phenomena is called, but I know that it was named after a communist terror group from Germany during the Cold War. What it was, it's based around this guy who, I don't really know why he chose the name, but he knew nothing about this communistic terror group in Germany, and then he found out the name, and then he couldn't stop seeing them in the newspapers. It's effectively, you think about one thing or you find one thing out that you've never known before, and then you start seeing it everywhere. It's a very common phenomena, and it was named after this communistic terror group because that was just the first thing that the guy who wrote down that this had happened to him could think of, and what had happened with him. That has been happening a lot too. Not only with the video project that I recently mentioned that I was working on with, but I found out a little tidbit of information about a bit of a weirdo that we all know mutually in the friend circle. A bit of a strange duck, bit of an odd duck, bit of a weird person that we don't like to say the name of. We don't talk to him. He's been gone for a long time. I've had him blocked since February. He doesn't even have my new Discord account, right? I don't like referring to this individual. Maybe there's a video about him in the future. Maybe there isn't. Maybe we just let sleeping dogs lie. What I'm trying to say, though, is he is a bit of a strange person to the degree that we don't like talking about him. So normally he doesn't come up in conversation, but as of late, he's been popping up in conversation like clockwork. It's bizarre. So basically, what I mean is we find out of of one little tidbit of information. Now, to give you a brief summary of what this individual was, he was autistic, and he was actually the person who kind of was the brick in the window for me finding out that I had autism, because he was the one who told me to take the test online that he had, that he said was very similar to the one that he took when he was a kid to get diagnosed. He was, I would wager, a little bit sociopathic maybe, or maybe he's just fucked in the head for some other reason. I don't know. He could lie with a straight face, and he did several times about several things involving me and maybe even a couple of other people. He was a manipulative person. He tried to get us all to turn against the owner of the server at one point, like I said. best to let sleeping dogs lie. Don't want to open up old wounds and let them fester anymore, you know? But basically put, we find out that this man who is autistic and quite possibly sociopathic, who was obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's to a alarming degree, I would mind you. So I'm not going to say what that entails. You can kind of probably assume the worst because it was kind of really, really bad. This man who was obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's and would talk openly about his affliction and affection for, certain characters in the series of the robotic variety. This man recently got himself a job at a certain upstanding family establishment that perhaps Five Nights at Freddy's took an awful lot of inspiration from, if you understand my meaning. Not just that, he's gonna be the man in the rat suit. So we found that out, and we were immediately horrified. We found this out, and we were immediately terrified, and we said, okay, this man needs to be put on whatever the sex offender registry for, like, robots are, and he needs to be barred from working at any establishments with anything that's borderline furry characters or, robotics. So no Chuck E. Cheese's, no Showbiz Pizzas, and definitely no Best Buy Electronics departments, alright? We gotta save the microwaves. Won't someone think of those microwaves? So we find out that this man is gonna be working at a Chuck E. Cheese, alright? That was the brick in the window, and now he just keeps popping up in conversation because I run, well, not run, I temporarily am the democratically elected dictator of a server. That would be a good way of putting it. For about 2 weeks, I'm going to be running the server that's become my stomping grounds over the last couple of years. Would it be years? About a year or two. Yeah, close to years. Year and a half, maybe. I digress. I'm going to be the leader of this server for the time being. Just doing whatever I'm supposed to do, make sure that the whole place doesn't burn down, stays active and whatnot. And I recently got access to the chat archives. Now, the guy who actually owns the server, he archives everything for history's sake, and I've just been reading through there and finding out over and over again that this man was doing an awful lot of shit posting about me last year. There was a time period when I left, everyone thought I was dead. That is a video in and of itself. I should definitely make a video about that. But I'm finding out more and more some of the weird shit he said about me. The man claimed that I had, met Shadman, the Shadman, on no less than 4 occasions. It's true. It's real. He claimed that. I've never talked to Shadman. I'm never gonna talk to Shadman, Or I'm at least probably not. Hell, I don't know. Stranger things have happened, but it's just bizarre. The biggest person I've probably had a run-in with the internet was maybe Frank Hassel. I've had a run-in with Frank Hassel before, but it was very brief and we didn't really exchange any words personally, I was just in the same Discord server as him at one point. I digress. What I'm trying to say here, though, is that I just keep running into an awful lot of coincidental things. And, I'm not one of these people necessarily to say that there's no such thing as a coincidence, but I wonder if, some divine power is trying to tell me something, if you understand my meaning. I don't necessarily know what it is. I don't know if this is a harbinger of, bad things to come, because, like I said, we don't talk about this individual who keeps popping up in conversation. We don't really say his name, And, to be completely honest with you, I don't really want to have any conversation with the man, but, he keeps popping up in conversation. I'm afraid that it's going to be like Beetlejuice. If we say his name one too many times, he's going to appear. Same thing with the research for the video. I don't get distressed by a lot of stuff, necessarily. I'm pretty jaded whenever it comes to a lot of stuff. That just comes with the territory. That just comes with the upbringing, I guess. But the stuff that I'm looking into has distressed me to no end. I honestly don't necessarily know how to put it. It is incredibly distressing. Whenever I get this project done, I'm probably going to take a bit of a break from that side of the internet. I am going back down a rabbit hole that I went down in the past that I really did not enjoy. That makes me sound like a teenage girl on the internet, though. So, what I'm trying to say here is that I'm perfectly fine mentally, but it's just some distressing shit. And coincidentally, it just keeps popping up, and I can't stop running into examples of this distressing shit, It is a strange and wacky world that we live in. It is a strange and weird, possibly even mystical place that we live in. There's a lot of unexplainable shit, and I just keep running into it. And whether or not that's a good thing, I guess we'll find out in the future. I don't know. We'll find out if that video does good. If it does good, well, I'm going to have to do it again next year, maybe. But if it doesn't do good, then, you know, I finally get an excuse to just distance and separate myself from this shit. I don't know. I think I'm just rambling at this point, though, to be honest with you. I got to get a video out. I don't want to break my fucking streak, but, you know, I'm definitely not on time. I'm definitely not punctual with this one. Like I said, it's going to be a late upload day. Maybe this one will go up around like 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that, Central Standard Time. I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to opening that window, putting my fan in there, and just relax and trying to get my next NFT done. Anyways, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, well, I do daily uploads, or at least I try to. You can check those out. Why not subscribe? Why not give this video a like? Definitely helps with the motivation that I claim I don't need, but apparently I have starvation for. Definitely helps with that in the algorithm. If you want to check out my Twitter, it's twitter.com/Hale_Keezer. And as I mentioned, I am making NFTs. You can check a link in the description. I'll have some of those put up there. That's it for this video. I've been Keezer. I've never been good at outros. I'll see you next time.